Welcome back, everybody. You're looking at a painting called Abandoned at the Uvas. It's from a picture I took 30 years ago, and picture's been sitting both in my head and in the back of a closet for all these years. I've been thinking about it, mulling it over, analyzing it, and finally came up with this quick a little canvas called Abandoned at the Uvas. The Uvas is the name of the mountains in the background. There's a feeling that about extreme loneliness, isn't there? But you also get the sense that there's something tangible left behind. Somebody's watching. Somebody's still there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's me. I'm still there. I'm watching. I'll never leave you abandoned. So anytime you start feeling like you get in the middle of the semester and you're starting to feel nervous and alone, you're not alone. Reach out to me. Let me show you what we're going to do this semester. Hi. What I want to do this right now is walk you through what the semester is going to look like. Let me explain to you a couple general objectives first. I told you in the very first video, very simply, that writing is the act of breaking a thing down into parts and then recomposing it. Thus, it's a composition. And I need you to understand that what we're talking about here is something very tangible. I need you to understand that when we're writing about something physically tangible in the world, and we're going to create a physically tangible object that has been that you are going to engineer. And the word engineer is the perfect word here. We're going to be using it a lot this semester because meaning is an engineered thing. It's a construct. It's constructed on the resulting construct, the text, a text which is slowly building meaning inside of a reader's head until there's something tangible, physically tangible inside that reader's head, and hopefully that what is in the reader's head is true to what was in your head once you determined the meaning of what it was that you wanted to get down and document forever in your text. Sounds all very grand, I want to convince you that you absolutely will leave here with the ability to see things that you had never been able to see before. That is to say, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to teach you how to be the chalk dust in the laser beam so that you can make the invisible visible. Here's how we're going to do it. Let me show you the syllabus for the semester. You have access to this on Blackboard. And if you want to walk along on another tab on Blackboard with me and call up that syllabus, you can do that. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to attempt to share the screen with you in this video. And understand that switching from one application to another takes a little bit of lag time. So, and I'm not used to that lag time yet. So it may take me a second to feel comfortable with what we're doing. There. What I'm hoping is that you're seeing the landing page for our Blackboard classroom, the page that would have announced to you to find how to find these introductory videos. And what I want to do is direct you back into that section called Course Information to the tool link called Syllabus and Calendar. That's a live link. You should be able to click on that and you'll get a PDF of the objectives and the methods of the semester, along with a calendar that we'll be following. Let me open that up and see what kind of luck we have here. That leads you to the PDF link. That's a clickable link. And there is my course syllabus for the semester. And I think the best way to do this is just to walk you through it. So to begin with, reminding you, there I am listed there. My full name, Peter Mass. I'm a full professor here at the college. I've been here for over 30 years. I've been teaching composition for nearly 40. I have a physical office, but I'm not going to list it there. The Blackboard is the physical office, and at some point we may even make a virtual office where we can visit doing face-to-face using some of the tools of Blackboard. But for now, let me simply tell you that I'm available by phone from 12 to 4 every business day, Monday through Friday. And there's my phone. You'll see a 575 number. I'm in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I live in New Mexico. And if some of those paintings that I've shown you don't resonate with what you think of as Texas, that's because they're not. They're from New Mexico, where I live. My phone, anytime that you call and you don't get an answer during those hours, it must mean I'm on the phone with somebody else. Leave a message. I'll call you right back. You can text there too, but understand I'm only picking up between 12 and 4-ish, okay? If you want to make arrangements to make a contact outside of those hours, happy to do so. There's also on Blackboard a function that you can communicate with the text called Course Communications, and I'll get back with you there. Now, all of the function of Blackboard, you and I will go over in a separate video, but for right now, we're just talking about the regular operations of the semester. In the syllabus, I have listed the 2 textbooks that you'll need, and of course, it's okay for you to get e-versions of these. A couple of reminders before we get into the objectives of the class. Remember, you've got access to the meanings of words online, and some of the best online dictionaries are the Oxford English Dictionary, which is also called the OED, and the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. So you're doing your work online. Take advantage of those dictionaries. Next, this semester, you're going to be turning work into me. But I believe in mastery, so I'm not necessarily going to be grading. If an essay is not working well enough, I'll ask you to rewrite it until it's good enough, and then we'll worry about the grades at the end of the semester. I'll tell you what I mean in a minute. Next, understand that if you turn in a paper late, it can jeopardize your ability to finish the semester. Best policy is always to keep in touch with me regarding concerns about a paper having to come in late for any reason. Remember that any one semester, for that matter, any one project, unevaluated or unsatisfactory or incomplete, will result in failure for the semester. You need to finish everything in order to pass the class. Finally, I strongly recommend that while doing Blackboard, you connect to your Wi-Fi, or rather to your router, using an Ethernet, a direct line, an Ethernet connection. I imagine many of you might want to operate the app on your phone, and I imagine that many of you might want the mobility of walking around the house. All that is well and good. So while you're watching a video, that'll work. While you're reading a text, I suppose that will work. But if you're attempting to upload or download something, all sorts of things can accidentally go wrong when you're in a Wi-Fi connectivity situation. So to avoid connectivity faults, while working directly online, use an Ethernet connection. Next, let me explain the class. Ladies and gentlemen, writing is a skills, this is a skills-based class, right? A skills-based class. What that means to you is simply that at the beginning of the semester, it would seem to be reasonable to presume that the skills that you have will not be as highly tuned as they will be at the end of the semester. I'm going to put you through a series of experiences this semester through demonstration, exercise, modeling, working with others, seeing what other people are up to try and demonstrate to you the tangible physical nature of the engineered world. The world of meaning that I'm going to get you to learn how to engineer and be in control of to create documents with a higher predictable, reliable ability for a reader to interpret it. Now, clearly, there's a complexity to this that students succeed at doing every semester. And in fact, it takes about 12, 13 weeks for what I'm talking about to really sink in at all the possible levels. 12 or 13 weeks. It's around the week 12 or 13, I see students, when I'm, especially in my face-to-face class, but even last semester doing online, I could see it in their eyes when we met online. I could hear it in their voice when I talked to them on the phone. I could even see it in their email, in their notes to me saying, Mr. Mass, I need you to see this. I think I finally understand what you've been saying. An eagerness to demonstrate to me that while all these weeks they've been patiently going through this, sort of rolling their eyes at this very beginning, at this very moment, as I say things like, you will go through a transformation that will completely change the way you think about writing and alter how you approach the whole process, giving you a control you thought was absolutely unheard of. And at that moment, they suddenly realized that I was speaking absolute truth. And my point here is that it's a process, that this takes time. And so if we were to grade you, if you were to give you a grade, it would suggest that if you're fairly typical in the learning curve, that how well you write, even after some training at the beginning of the semester, will not be as good as how well you'll write at the end of the semester. Ladies and gentlemen, even if we were to average the score across the semester, many of you might not be happy with that, because the insights that you have around week 10, 11, 12, and 13 may be so dramatic that how it is that you are writing at that time does not even begin to represent the quality of writing at any time in that graded curve. So, ladies and gentlemen, this semester, no grades. Instead, a series of assignments that must show adequate mastery and adequate understanding of the goals for that semester, that particular assignment. You do that, the paper's good enough. And no matter what, I'll explain to you how to make that paper better. I'll explain to you how to do that in a few notes. I'll explain how to do that in some audio recordings. I can explain how to do that working with you in groups of other students, so that at the end of every product that you submit to me, there'll be an explanation of how you could have done it better. Once you've finished the entire semester and completed all the products, we have to assume that you have adequately mastered. And adequate simply means we know nothing more than you have minimally mastered everything that's required from you. You've passed the class. We'll have all of that add up to 70 out of 100, just to indicate a 70%. That's a passing grade. So what happens next? How do we determine your final grade? Your final grade will be determined by a portfolio of work. So let's do this again. Remember, this semester, I'm going to be issuing to you a series of exercises and essay challenges, not topics, challenges. Challenges where you have to show that you understand what must be done to solve a problem. You'll submit the work, and if it's good enough, I'll tell you how you could have made it better. If it's not good enough, I'll require that you make it better. So Either it gets the points because it's good enough, or it doesn't get the points yet, and you have to turn it in again. When everything is done and you've turned in everything to my satisfaction, you've earned an opportunity to show me how you write at the semester's end. So at the end of the semester, you can put together what's called a portfolio, in the collection. Um, in the collection, what I'll ask you to do is identify 2 essays from the training period of the semester. 2 essays. Write them again now at the end of the semester, and I'm going to train you how to evaluate yourself. So you'll write a 3rd essay that documents the quality of those 2 essays. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be that portfolio that'll put a grade on. Now look, if you turn in a portfolio and it's superior, and by the way, the chance of that happening is pretty good. We get more superior portfolios than you might expect, simply because, and let me put it another way, with a superior portfolio, I'm going to give you, I don't know, 25, 30 points. Add that to the 70 points, that's 95, 100 points. That's an A. That's an A for the semester. So I give you an A on the portfolio, 25 points on portfolio maybe, or 30 points out of for the portfolio. Portfolio is worth up to 30 points. You got an A for the semester. If it's pretty good, better than average, darn good job, most people would be greatly impressed and real happy to see the type of work that you're doing, whether it's in your professional world or in the classroom. If they read that's pretty good, I don't know, I'll give you a B on that. That's out of 30 points. So I'll give you 10 points. I'll give you 10 points. That's 10 points plus 70. That's 80 points for the semester. That's a B for the semester. It says if the portfolio represents average work. Got it. I don't know, I'll give you 5 points to the 70 you already have. That 75, that's a C for the semester. I'm sure you're getting better at writing all the time, but I'll give you the 5 points for an attaboy. I know you already got the 70, you already got the C, but 5 points for an attaboy. Good try. You still have the C for the semester. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So take this now one more time, more slowly. Scroll up that again on the syllabus, so you see this semester there will be a series of challenges. What we're going to have is 4 writing challenges, which will be opportunities to learn about how to construct meaning. Each opportunity will involve very distinct challenges that will force you to confront what you think you know about how to build meaning. When you finish the assignment, you'll show it to other people in the class. We're going to put you in small reading groups. You need to understand that all text exists to be read by somebody. We're going to be practicing how to write essays. Essays, by definition, are textual objects to be read by somebody. So, in order to have an understanding of how your essay is being received, we're going to have some other people in the classroom read your essays. So, you'll submit your essay to other readers, a group of readers. At the same time, you'll submit your essay to me. When I give the essays back, there's a chance that several times I will return all of the essays all at once to that same group. And we'll talk about all of the essays in terms of how all of the essays could be made better and how the essays are responding to the assignment. It's a powerful learning experience. Once again, if the essay is working good enough, it's successful, give it an S, it gets all the points. If it's not working yet, it gets no points, and it gets an R, which means you have to reread it. You can then submit it back to me for my further evaluation. I would expect you to be want to get that paper back to me quickly, so that you can get that those points logged in the gradebook. You can turn in an essay to me, remember, as many times as it takes within the reason of and the limits of the semester. Next, for each writing cycle, I'm going to ask you to post a message or two on a forum in something called the discussion board. So each writing cycle lasts 3 to 4 weeks, we'll have something very different for you to post. No two writing cycles will involve a similar post. Next, I need you to practice breaking things down into parts, analysis. So I'm going to ask you to record your practice in a document called the Professional Development Journal. What's the profession that we are developing? Analysis. And what does the word journal means? The word journal simply is a place where we keep a record of things. So the PDJ, Professional Development Journal, is going to be a record of exercises that I'll give you each week. For the first 11 weeks of the semester, I'll give you a very specific set of instructions that you'll perform, put in a document, and submit to me to check to see if you're doing it right. If it's done right, you move on to the next PDJ. At the end of the semester, you'll have 11 entries. All 11 entries are done correctly. You get all the points. Finally, one of the essays will involve a little bit of research to it, very little, and you'll have to follow a style called modern language association style. That research style project has a couple points associated to it. It's a mastery project, so once again, if it isn't perfect, I'll give it back to you telling you how to make it perfect. And you submit it again until it is perfect. When it's perfect, you get all the points. So it gets us right back then to the final evaluation. To pass the class with a C, you must complete all the assignments. And that means that by around the last 2 weeks of school, you will have 4 essays marked with an S. That means satisfactory. They're complete. Now they have all the points. You will have posted on each of the 4 discussion board forums, means you get all the points for those. You will have a complete PDJ, Professional Development Journal. You'll have all the points for those, and you'll have a perfect MLA style project. That's a grand total of 70 points. Here's how it breaks down. Essay 1 with the discussion board, 15 points. 2, 3, and 4, each 15 points. The PDJ, we'll call it 8 points. The research style works cited page, we'll call that 2 points. That's 70 points. 70 out of 100. You have passed the class. Now, you've also potentially earned the right to do a portfolio. If you've attended the class, which simply means that you have engaged with the class online each week. If you've attended class, you will have the right to do a portfolio. In a portfolio, then, you submit those essays as I told you about. We'll have instructions about it at the end of the semester, and I'll give you a grade on that. So once again, if it's great, I'll give you somewhere between 20 and 30 points. That's 90 to 100. That's an A. If it's pretty darn good, I don't know, I'll give you 10 to 15 points. That's a B. If it's average, I'll give you some points on top of that. Nothing over 9 points, but it'll be a C nonetheless. C for the semester. You still passed, and that's how the class works. Now, if you have any questions about that, we'll have an open forum later in the week where, if you want, you can talk to me in a live session, or you can certainly phone me, and we can chat on the phone for a few minutes. What I want to show you finally, though, is the calendar. Notice that there are chapters in the in one column for reading, and in the other column, basically just the instructional topics for that week. The readings are out of the Norton's Field Guide, unless it otherwise refers specifically to a writer's reference. So you see that in week one, we're involved in week one right now. You're involved in the introduction and the review of the syllabus. And the next occupation, we'll be talking about good writing, getting us kicked off on a discussion of what our goals are for this semester. You'll see under the assignments for this week that I'm asking you to read chapters 5 through 8, and that you'll do the first PDJ assignment. There'll be instructions for all of that. So scanning through, you'll see that week 1, 2, and 3 is primarily about the first essay. That's the first writing cycle. So in each writing cycle, there will be a demonstration of aspects of composition that are important to understand. There will be an examination of models from other students. There'll be opportunities to see what other people are doing in the class, and then you'll submit your essay. Then we start it all over again, and we do the next essay. And while you're working on the next essay, I'm reading and responding to your previous essays. And that's how the semester works, ladies and gentlemen. Let me switch back to the camera just for a second. I hope that wasn't too convoluted. If you have any questions about it, let me reiterate that you should pick up the phone during the phone hours and give me a call. My phone number is listed in the syllabus there. It's also listed in the Blackboard course menu as well. Take a minute to watch one more introductory video. This was about how what this video covered was the content of the semester. What I need you to become familiar with is how the Blackboard tools work. And it'll take a little while for both of us to get used to it. But let me just take a minute to show you the operational features that you need to know right now. So I'll wrap up once again. This time, I don't want to leave you feeling abandoned. Let's go back to the bus and invite you to watch the video on how to use Blackboard.